could tune in today. My name is Derek Smith. I am a certified personal trainer and a 200-hour registered yoga teacher. My good friend Stephen Morales invited me down to make this video for you today, just kind of demonstrate a few simple moves to help alleviate lower back tension or lower back pain. So I came up with basically 3 simple moves to help alleviate lower back pain that anybody can do really anywhere. As you notice, I don't have a yoga mat, I don't really have a lot of stuff. I did take my shoes off to allow my feet to move more freely and establish more of a connection. But you can wear your shoes, you can not wear your shoes, and you don't need any equipment. So first off, I just want to start by tuning into the body. So first and foremost, we will establish a good footing underneath us, maybe bringing the feet about hip width apart, and then bringing the outside of the feet parallel, and then engaging the glutes by rotating the femur. So you're externally rotating the femur, which will, if you notice, it'll pull the arch up. So when you look down at your feet, as you turn your femurs out, it'll pull the arch of the feet and engage the arch and pull it up off the floor. So at this point, I can also feel it's slightly engaging my glutes. So I'm not pushing my hips forward and creating more compression in the lower back. I'm merely going from a position to where I'm a little bit internally rotated, kind of collapse inward, and then I'm just going to open up a little. So it's a slight movement, but from here what we want to do is with your hands on your hips, we'll bend the knees and then slightly start pushing the hips back. So from the side, I'm creating a hinge and I'm just merely pushing my hips back. I'm still trying to keep my back relatively flat and keep the natural curve of the lumbar and the thoracic and the cervical spine. And then we're just trying to feel the hamstring. So I want to feel the back of the leg, feel the pull in the back of the leg. And once you begin to feel that stretch there in the back of the leg, go ahead and we're going to do a forward fold. So from here we're just going to reach down, and you can keep your knees as bent as you need to, or if you are more flexible, you can almost completely locked out. Now I wouldn't recommend locking them out completely, but just keeping the knees soft so you're still in the muscles, you're not completely in the joint like that, but you have a little bit of bounce in there. So you're engaging the leg muscles, and then sliding the hands down the legs, and taking the gaze first down to the floor, and then you'll pick a spot behind. So you can rest with your arms on your legs, on your thighs for support, if this is too much. And this can also be done in a seated position, so you can do this from a chair. So if you need extra support, I would suggest sitting in a chair and folding forward, and then tucking the chin towards the chest. So we're creating a lengthening of the back of the neck. And that helps to loosen up the back of the neck, and it really works with the whole fascial sheath, basically all our connective tissue from the top of our head down to our heels. So it'll help open all that up and help to start bring some movement and some relief to any kind of back tension. And then I would recommend holding that for probably about 10 breaths. And when you're breathing, I want you to connect with your breath through your nose. So keeping the mouth closed, not clenching, but just keeping the mouth closed and breathing through the nose. And as the breath begins to deepen, you can settle in. Maybe bending the knees a little more and sinking deeper into the stretch, keeping the chin tucked. A lot of times I see a tendency to keep the eyes on the ground, which creates a lot of compression in the neck, and we're really trying to lengthen this area especially, along with the lower back. And then using the breath as a guide, with the exhale, sink a little bit deeper, contract a little farther, and then inhale, you open up, exhale, sink into it deeper. And more advanced, you could go behind your legs, wrapping your arms, and you can use the straightening of the legs to create more tension and more pull throughout that connective tissue. So as you stand up, you want to come back to a fully upright position slowly, almost one vertebrae at a time, all the way up to upright, and check back in. So we'll maintain the breath through the nose throughout the whole practice. So you want to stay anchored to the breath, staying present with the present moment. I'll demonstrate one more time. So this is just a simple forward fold. So from here, I sit back, letting the breath fold me, come to resting on my knees, and then allowing the upper back, the neck, and the whole spine to elongate and stretch. So from here, we'll go ahead and come to a seated position. So sitting on the floor, for most people, elevating the hips might help. If you have a lot of tension in the inner thighs and the adductors, or if you experience a lot of back pain, or if this position isn't comfortable, you can elevate the hips by putting blocks underneath you and creating a more comfortable position. But we'll go ahead and bring the feet together. So this is a bound angle pose in yoga, or just a butterfly stretch. So we want to bring the heels in as close as we can and begin to, using the elbows as levers, push down on the inner thigh to help the adductors release. There's a lot of different reasons for lower back tension and lower back pain. It's really hard to pinpoint one thing. So just tuning into your body and noticing how you feel when you do these different things and asking questions of your body, listening to it, it'll help you to tune in and to figure out what is the habit, what is the habitual way that you've been using your body or your mind that has caused this to come about. So from here, we'll go ahead and grab the toes. So I'm still keeping a straight back, and I really want to focus on the lower back. So I'm not going to round my upper back down like that and go into like a kyphosis or get a stretch, because it feels like I'm stretching really far when I pull down like that, but I'm not really stretching what I want to be stretching. So from here, we'll go ahead and pull forward. So I'm still keeping my shoulder blades depressed and slightly retracted, so I can keep a nice flat back. My head is tall, so there's like a string pulling from the top of the head, keeping the neck as neutral as possible. And then again, using the breath as a guide. So I breathe in, causes me to open, and I exhale, I fold and contract. Breathe in, rise up, exhale. Again, we'll hold these for about 10 breaths. There's also an option to put your hands behind your back. This will really help to keep your spine straight, and you can push from the fingertips forward. Again, using the breath to open up and then contract. It's like a wave, like an undulation. So it's not necessarily a static position or posture, it's with movement, which will also help to bring some lubrication to the lower back. So from here, once we finish, we can rock back and forth on the sits bones, trying to bring our attention to the lower back and feel the movement of the lower back. And then I'll turn back and face you. And the same thing with the hands by the sides. We'll just merely rock side to side. So I just want to be mindful and create some movement in the lumbar spine. And then finally, we'll go ahead and lay down flat. So in a lying position, we'll start with both legs straight, and feet on the ground. And then we'll bring the right knee up towards the chest. And you can go underneath the knee if you have any kind of knee pain or knee issues, or you can go right on the top of the shin bone there, the tibia, and pull the leg into the body. Now a lot of people for this will have a tendency to go right to here to where you have that hyperextension of the cervical spine again, and you're looking up off that way. I have a lot of forward head posture, so my spine is naturally more forward than I would like it to be. So I would add a support, a towel or a block underneath my head here. But since I don't have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be mindful, and I'm going to pull my chin down towards my chest a little bit. So I'm trying to flatten out the cervical spine as much as possible, hugging this knee into the chest, and again, using the breath as a guide. You can start, if that's easier, you can wrap the arm around the leg and get a little more leverage. And this is just going to help to work with the muscles on the side of the hip, the glute, the lower back, and give you a little bit of decompression of the lower spine, creating a lengthening. So by me tucking my chin here, it's pulling my spine long and apart. Pulling my knee in pulls the pelvis almost into a posterior tilt, and then lengthening the back of the neck creates a decompression, a lengthening of the entire spine. Then we'll go ahead and switch, so we'll hold each of those for about 10 breaths, and then we'll do the opposite leg, pulling it into the chest. And this is wind removing pose in yoga, so be mindful. So as you're pulling the leg in, again, you can wrap the forearm around the shin and use that as a lever to get a deeper stretch. Again, breathing through the nose. So from there, we'll do one more stretch. So we'll keep the left foot flat on the ground and elevate the left knee, and then we'll put the right ankle across the thigh. I'll turn around this way so you can see it. So that leg is rotated outward, and I'm going to thread the needle here. So I'm going to go through this triangle I've made with my shin and my thigh and my other thigh. I'm going to go through there and grab the back of the thigh and interlace my fingers. And again, I'm going to keep my neck long and pull this into my chest. So I'm pulling my right leg into the chest, and then notice I'm engaging my toes on that leg. So that helps protect the tendons in the knee. And I'm pulling this in and sinking a little deeper. I'll turn back sideways. Good. So we'll go ahead and release that. And when you release, you can windshield wiper your knees side to side, add a little movement to the hip. And this more directly targets the piriformis and muscles that tend to get tight and cause a little bit of sciatica pain or just hip pain, lower back. So we'll go ahead and bring the left leg across, and again, threading the eye of the needle. I thread it through, I interlace the fingers behind that thigh, I engage both feet, flexing them, and then I pull my neck down towards the floor. Focusing on the breath. And so this one can be done in place of the wind removing pose. So I gave you two options there. And then from there, we'll merely just sit. So you can sit in a chair, you can sit cross-legged, you can pull one heel in and bring the other leg on top of the leg for a half lotus. But the main thing is to get the spine straight, sit tall like there's a string, like you're a marionette doll, string pulling from the head, lengthening the spine. The hands can be on the knees, they can be folded in your lap. And then I just want you to connect with your breath. Just notice any thoughts that come to you. And just watch them pass by and bring your attention back to the breath. So you're just essentially riding the wave of the present moment. And through this awareness and noticing, the noticing of when the thought arises and not having the second thought or chasing the thought, or when you do chase the thought and you notice it, that's the practice of meditation. So we tend to be very habitual by nature. So to change our habits, we first have to notice our habits are present. So if you notice that your lower back pain is caused because of being overweight, or maybe not working out, or just a variety of things, in this moment of noticing, a thought may arise as to why this occurred. And then you can look at it and start to dissolve that habit. So as we continue our presence practice, we'll just take about 10 to 20 breaths. Meditation doesn't have to be long, it's just a presencing, bringing our awareness to now, to where our body is, and anchoring to the breath and to a body sensation. And that's where our power is. So in the present moment, we have the power to choose. So just to recap, I just did 3 simple stretches, really added 4. We got 4 simple stretches. You can do a forward fold, you can do it sitting in a chair, you can do it standing, you can do it sitting on the ground. So we have a forward fold stretch. And then we have a seated bound angle pose or butterfly stretch where we're opening up the adductors, a lot of the muscles that attribute to the pelvis being tilted, which causes compression of the lower back. And then we did a lying stretch where we pulled the knee into the chest. And we did that on both sides. And if that was okay and this is accessible for you, then going into threading the needle. And of course, the whole premise of stretching and yoga and all this is to become more present. So we had to finish with a little bit of meditation for you to bring your awareness to where you are. So thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Be where your feet are and have a great day.